Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, and today we're doing another book talk, and my heart is just all over the place with this series. And today the book I'm going to be talking about is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. This is book 2 in the Infernal Devices trilogy, and can't really go into a description of this book, obviously, because it's a sequel. But if you don't know what Infernal Devices is about, basically it's a prequel trilogy to I'm sorry, I have just recently gotten sick because it's finals week while I'm filming this, and of course I always get sick and feel like shit on finals week. So basically this is a prequel trilogy to Cassandra Clare's Mortal Instruments series. We follow shadow hunters set in 1800s London, and I think that's honestly all you should really, know going into this, because that's all I really knew, and it absolutely blew me away. As for my non-spoilery thoughts on this book, I really enjoyed it. I love that it kind of picks up right where Clockwork Angel left off, but just a little bit of time has passed between then and now, and this book did kind of have the traditional middle book syndrome, as they like to call it, but I only felt that way like in the beginning of the book. After that, stuff starts going and shit starts hitting the fan, and then I was just like completely absorbed into the story. Part of the reason I think it might have suffered from that for me also is I am the type of person that sets down a book if I feel like I need a break for it and I'm not really enjoying it and I just need to read something else. Not that I wasn't enjoying it, I was really enjoying it. I put it down because I watched the trailer for Love, Simon, which is the movie adaptation of Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, and I was just really oh my god, I want to read this book right now. So I read that and then picked Clockwork Prince back up. Really loved it. I loved the characters. I love that we do get to see more of Magnus in this book, because if you watched my Clockwork Angel book talk, which I will link down below for you guys, I definitely wanted to see more of him. I love him. He's one of my favorite characters from the Mortal Instruments series, and I really loved getting to see more of him in this time period, interacting with a different generation of shadow hunters, and he's just an all-around amazing character. I love him so much, and I'm so glad he's in this series. So that's about it for my non-spoilery thoughts. Now I'm going to go into spoilers, so if you haven't read Clockwork Prince, goodbye. And if you have, let's chat it up. First off, I want to start with, I love Jem and Tessa so much. I love Jem. Jem is just my little baby, and I want to protect him, and I want to keep him safe, and I want him to find love, and I want him to have happiness, because that's all that poor boy deserves in life. And just, I fangirl squealed when the three of them were going up to York, and Jem's like, wait, we need a cover story for Tessa, because Tessa's not Nymphilium, however you say that word. She's not a shadow hunter, and so we gotta figure out a way to be like, oh yeah, it's totally cool that she's coming into this institute that nobody's really supposed to know exists outside of this world. And she's like, we'll pretend to be engaged. And I was like, don't get my hopes up, Jem. Don't get my hopes up, because they are just too cute, and I am just tired. In the beginning of this book, and particularly towards the end of the book, I was just so tired of Tessa holding on to this it's kind of a love triangle, and I don't know if it gets any worse in the last book, but it's a love triangle, and I am obviously, along with everybody else, not a huge fan of love triangles. However, this one doesn't truly bother me as much as some of the other love triangles I have read have, just because I guess right now it's not just so out there. It kind of got out oh god, now we're gonna be competing for the same girl towards the end. So we'll see how my thoughts change on that as we go into the third book. But I'm just so tired of Tessa. I'm Will treats you like shit, and we all know he really isn't an awful, horrible person. He's actually a really nice person, but he has to put up this persona because of this stupid curse that wasn't even a curse. That pissed me off so much, that the demon said he cursed him, and then Will thought he had this curse on him, but really it's well, I mean, granted, he was like 12 and he doesn't know the rules and the workings of the Shadowhunter world, but just the fact that he thought this curse was real, and it's like a demon that has been trapped in the Pylex, or whatever you call it, I can't say that word, has been trapped in there for 20 years. There's no way he has the power to set upon a curse on you. And I'm just like, seriously? And I mean, you would think his dad, after everything happened and Will ran away, he would find the box and realize, oh my god, this is what happens, it's gotta have something to do with Zeemond, and then just come out and be like, okay. I mean, they did come for him once he ran away to the Institute, so I wonder if maybe they'd figured it out and tried to tell him. I don't know, that area just kind of pissed me off. Like, I'm just like, seriously, you've let us up, we get the hints that he's got this curse. I'm sorry, if you can hear this weird clicking noise, it's my cat playing with the hangers on my bed. And of course now he stops because he knows I'm talking about him. But it was one of those things that just kind of pissed me off. I was like, seriously, you led us up to believe it was this huge deal and this curse and all this crap, and then it turns out it was really nothing. Like, good fucking lord. And then of course, as soon as that happened, Will's like, oh my god, now I can be with Tessa. But of course, you know, Tessa's done her own thing because she's moved on, because Will's an asshole and has obviously gone for the very sweet and kind-hearted Jem, and it just makes my heart happy because I love them together. And now I'm like really pissed because I'm like, is Will gonna come in and try to fuck shit up in the third book? Because I know he says he's not, but you never know, because stuff like this always fucking happens, and I'm just not okay. And can I just say, like, when Jem actually proposed to Tessa, I like closed the book and squealed and just had all the fangirl feels, because I love them together so much and they deserve each other, and Jem just needs to be happy, and like, I just love him so much. And now I'm like, well, shit, Will is actually not cursed. He's going to pronounce his love for Tessa, which he does, which really fucks shit up. And I'm just, that kiss that they had is going to come back to bite them in the fucking ass. We all know it, although both of them said they weren't going to say anything. We all know it's going to happen. And I'm just not ready for this to blow up, because I love them so much, and like, they just need to be together. So, Jasmine, Jessie, however you say her fucking name, I was really thrown off by her betrayal. We know she's not a fan of the lifestyle. The only reason she's there and even associated with the Shadow World is because her parents died and she was orphaned, and obviously since she has shadow in her blood and she's an orphan, they automatically go to the institute to be raised. And we know she's not a fan, she doesn't train, she doesn't partake in anything, you know, she wants to be a regular young lady. I didn't expect her to betray them like that. I didn't think she hated that lifestyle so much that she would turn around and betray them for the bad guys that she knows is the bad guys. And I don't know if it's just because she hated them so much, or she was just so love struck by Nate, which I'm just kind of like, seriously? Like, she is those female characters I hate that cannot live a life without a man, and I can't deal with her. Back onto the topic of relationships in this video, because there are just so many interesting little things. First off, I like that we are introduced to Gideon Lightwood. I really like him. I like that he is not so wrapped up in his father's world and takes his father's word as law, and this is how it's supposed to be. I like that he was able to get out from under his father and go and study in Spain and come back and realize, wow, this is not how shadow hunters are supposed to work. This is not what we're supposed to do. And has, pulled his head out of his ass and is able to actually see the world. However, on the other hand, his brother Gabriel's head is so far up his dad's ass, it's ridiculous. And once Gideon comes forward and specifically tells him, these are the facts, this is what has happened, and you can't trust everything Dad has told you, and he still blatantly is like, no, you're lying, Dad's right, I'm gonna stand behind Dad. Well, you go and, you know, work on the good side of this. And leading into Gideon, I had to get my thoughts out on that. Gideon and Sophie are so adorable. I really hope it works out. I know they've got some stuff going on because she's a mundane and he's a shadow hunter, and that's really not supposed to happen, but she has the sight, so it's like she's not a regular mundane, and they're just really cute. And I felt so bad for Sophie because, you know, at the end of Clockwork Angel, she realized she had feelings for Thomas, and then Thomas died, and she's just sad, and I'm sad for her, and she really deserves this. This poor girl has had one of the toughest lives, and I just feel so bad for her, and I want her to be happy, and I think her and Gideon deserve to be together. Also, another relationship I want to touch on, Charlotte and Henry. Obviously we know they're married, but we really don't see much of their relationship within Clockwork Angel, and for most of Clockwork Prince too. We just know they're married, but there's snippets when we hear from Charlotte of different feelings, and she thinks the only reason Henry married her was to pay back a debt his father owed her dad, and everybody thinks that Charlotte only married Henry because she can't technically run the institute by herself as a woman, and all of this crap. And it was really sad, and I was like, I get it, this is also during a time when there are, you know, arranged marriages and stuff, and I just felt so bad that this is their relationship. And you could tell from snippets we heard from Charlotte in like Clockwork Angel that she wants more of a relationship with Henry than what she has. And we really get to see that towards the end of Clockwork Prince. They finally come to terms, and they've been married for several years at this point. They finally have that big conversation addressing the rumors that everybody says. And they finally come clean, and it just made my heart so happy to see them clear the air. And it's like, well, I didn't marry you to repay my father's debt. I married you because I liked you. I came to your dad and asked for your hand in marriage. And then she's like, well, I didn't marry you because I needed a male to run the institute that my father handed down to me. I married you because I love you. And this is just a whole new level to their relationship. And I'm so glad that it's in the air, and like they're actually gonna have like an actual relationship instead of just this kind of civil partnership. And so I'm really excited to see where that goes. And I just love them so much, and especially now that they're expecting a baby, like, I'm so excited. I noticed something. Henry's middle name is Jocelyn. So it's Henry Jocelyn Branwell. And this got my, you know, wheels turning, because this is another prelude to characters from Mortal Instruments, because obviously Henry has this very noticeable fire red hair, and we also know that Charlotte's maiden name is Fairchild, much like Jocelyn and Clary's name is Fairchild, and Clary has the very shocking red hair just like Henry, and so we know they're somehow interconnected there. And so I'm wondering, was Jocelyn named after Henry? Like, I need to know these things. And I love, one of the main things I really love about this series is I love making these different connections from this series to the more modern day series. Now, to the very end of the book, we meet a new visitor, which is Will's younger sister, Cicely, and I am so interested to see how this plays out, because Will has, you know, obviously he can't talk to his family because they're no longer part of the Nephilium world and all that crap, and so he hasn't really talked to them. Now that, you know, he's going to be able to allow himself to get close to people because his curse isn't actually a curse, I'm interested to see how their relationship is going to pick up now that it's so many years later, and how she's gonna do going into the Shadowhunter world. Did she really come in just because she wants to know more about the world, or did she totally come in to find Will and figure out a way to bring him home? And lastly, there's one tiny thing that kind of irks me about this book, and I've kind of noticed it in the first book, and I was talking to Cass from Cats and Camera about this in the comments of one of my other videos. I'd kind of noticed it, but I put it aside. Some of the language within the book is not very Victorian. Some of it is quite more modern, and it kind of bugs me just a teensy bit, but the story and these characters are just so amazing that I can kind of just like push that to the wayside. But has anybody else noticed that? Like, does it bug anybody else? Anyways, I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. Obviously, like, how can I not? I just love it, and I love these characters, and it's just so great. It's so freaking great. And that's it for this book talk. Let me know down below in the comments your thoughts. Do you agree with some of the things I said? Do you not? Do you have some other thoughts you want to add? I would love to chat it up with you guys in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And until then, I will talk to you guys later. Goodbye!